Welcome to Movielife Crisis. Join us as we watch the best movies from 30 years ago.
Detectives Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett.
Punch it, man. Punch it, go!
On the Miami police force. They don't follow the rules. They make them. Sir. I'm a bad boy.
Bad boy. What you gonna do?
Rated R. And
I like how it said TBS in the front, too, because somebody had to catch it with the bumper still on there when they were trying to record it.
Dude, I always try. I want to get the trailer like with the actual VHS noises that like somebody taped off of their old school TV. That if a panther broke in your house, you could drop it on it and kill it.
I literally was just thinking. I just realized why our parents said not to sit close to the TV because it'll hurt your eyes. When I was watching that, I was like, "Oh man, this hurts my eyes."
Good old 360p coming in.
360. It was like 3.
What was the old school, like, what did they used to broadcast? Wasn't it 360p? Like the old school, like, standard def broadcast?
I don't think 360 is standard def, is it? Maybe.
I have no idea. Maybe it's the last. Maybe it's freaking 2 something. It's the 2s. It's like 6 pixels. I think it feels like it was about. Movielife Crisis, Season 5, Episode 13, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. What you gonna do?
2 things. This is Episode 13. We just passed Friday the 13th, so that's awesome. We're recording it on the 19th, which is Juneteenth, also awesome.
Juneteenth.
And last episode we posted on YouTube, someone in the YouTube comments said that there's like a shadow in my studio that makes it look like I'm sweating while I'm recording, and now I can't not see it. And so now I'm like, shit, I gotta get a new.
Man.
I gotta get a new light in here because it does look like. Literally, the comment was like, I clicked on the video to see why you were drenched with sweat. It's like peel an orange. This was about an hour ago.
Oh man, that's great. Good comment. Whoever that was, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
like, what are you doing? What, have you been jumping rope in the attic?
Dude, now I can't not see it.
I know. I'm gonna have to get a different light. It's killing me.
All right, real fast. So in the 70s and 80s, regular TV had an analog signal with 525 horizontal scan lines.
Yeah.
But not all of them were visible, so it had about 480. So if it was a super clear, very good reception, you would get about 480.
Yeah.
Ish.
That seems about right.
There's no P, but
no.
That's the
we
same
didn't know
as
what
P.
there were no pixels because you remember if you got real close to the TV, you'd see like individual like red, yellow, and green, or red, yellow, and blue. Like dots, because when you were a kid and you're dumb, you were trying to give yourself eye cancer. You'd be smashing your eyeball up against the TV, and you could see it. You felt like you were looking into the colored matrix.
Or if you had the people that you knew that had the very big projection TVs, and you looked around the other side of it, you could see the big lights that all mix together to make the right colors.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Look at the future.
And we used to have lawnmowers that didn't have engines. They just had blades, and you would push them, and they were totally quiet. You'd have an onion on your belt, which was the style at the time.
It was the style at the time.
So, Bad Boys, 1995.
Bad Boys, man.
I was trying to think back, because when I was watching this, because we talked about this before we started recording. I've seen this movie a jillion times. I know you have too.
So many.
I've got like 250,000 quotes or so.
I too have a lot of quotes, but I didn't realize as I was going through the quotes that I marked down, which I found a better way. Well, it might not be better for you, but it's better for me. Rather than me trying to type out the quote that I want, I just have the word quote written a bunch of times, and I just put the timestamp so I go back and find it. And then I go. It's a way for me to go back and watch the part and realize why I liked it. So I've been timestamping. Dude, I had to scroll past on my phone to get to the bottom of all the quotes. There were so many.
I should probably start doing that because there was a couple. Because I just write down like a couple of words, and then it's like my shit always works sometime. And I was like, I'll remember when that happened. Yeah. But there was some parts where I was like, dude, I wish I could find this scene and rewatch it because I only have a little bit of it.
I've been doing this timestamp and it's been working out.
All right, I might think.
But you got to watch it. Then you end up watching it again. But it's pretty quick.
Well, a lot of times I'll go on YouTube after I'm done with my notes, and I'll watch hey, top 10 scenes from Bad Boys.
Yeah,
and if it's like PCU, the internet has nothing for that. But like Bad Boys, dude, there's a bunch of that. There's like the funniest ones, and there's the best gunfights, and
oh yeah,
the top 10 best Captain whatever scenes. Like they're good.
Well, and my problem was as I was watching it, I was thinking ahead, and I was like, oh, I love this part. Oh wait, no, is that 2?
I know.
Oh wait, that might be 2.
Yeah,
I didn't get 3 and 4 confused, but 2 I kept getting mixed up. I don't know. Those are both really, the 1 and 2 are awesome for me.
Yeah. All right. Give us a synopsis.
Two Miami cops chase a dangerous drug operation, assume fake identities, survive shootouts and car chases, and save the day in under 120 minutes of nonstop Bayhem action.
Yeah. Let me ask you real quick. Do you think that this would have been a better movie if it would have been Dana Carvey and John Lovitz?
Would I have watched it? Yes.
I would have watched it. And I'm sure it would have been funny, but it would have been a lot more Tango and Cash and not nearly as badass.
I was going to say it would have been a way different movie.
Which one sprints through the streets with their shirt open?
Definitely
Gotta be Dana Carvey.
What?
Because so this is a Simpson and Bruckheimer production, and the original iteration of this in the mid to late 80s, that's who they wanted. That's who Bruckheimer wanted to put in them, was Dana Carvey and John Lovitz.
Bulletproof Hearts.
That was it was written for them, and it was going to be produced by Disney, which is going to be very different.
Well, I don't think it was like freaking Snow White Disney. I think it was like Touchstone
it was
Disney or something like that. You know,
it was, but still, like it's going to have way less F-bombs. It's probably not going to be R-rated,
right?
And it's probably not going to. The final shootout's not going to take place in the explosion factory like Michael Bay likes to do.
Do you know what Bayhem is? They call it that.
No.
Like, oh shit. All right. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to the director, because there's an actual thing called Bayhem.
All right, I love it.
We'll talk about
I'm excited about that. Michael Bay's first movie. This is a $20 million budget, most of which went to explosions, and then $141 million gross, which is a 7x multiplier. Massive, huge smash.
Good.
It's great, dude. It's incredible.
I mean,
the weird thing is it came in it didn't even make the top 20 on the year, which I don't understand. It was behind Waiting to Exhale somehow, and this movie seems like...
Yeah, but
I guess because the franchise is so big.
It
did. It beat out like... comedies.
Right.
But Bad Boys, the franchise, is so huge. I'm like, dude, how did this movie not make more money? Like, how is it? Because I'm watching, I'm thinking, like, dude, this is the best action movie. Like, it's not as the action is not as good as Speed, but the comedy is better than Speed. So I'm like, it's on par with me for Speed.
Yeah, I know.
And like Terminator 2, like they're the best action movies of the podcast that we've done in 5 years of the 90s. It's like those are the three for me.
But the comedy, I think, takes it to the next level for me, because it is so much funnier. Because I like action, but I like comedy more. And dude, it's so funny.
Yeah,
even though that it's 30 years old, I still laugh. Dude, it's funny.
It's freaking hilarious, and you can tell that they a lot of what the stuff they said was not scripted. And then I'm reading about it, and it's like Michael Bay didn't like the script. I'm like, I'm not surprised because they wrote it for Dana Carvey and John Lovitz, and then they rewrote it a bunch of times, and then it ended up being 2 black sitcom stars and Michael Bay. And Michael Bay was like, you know what, just throw that page in the garbage can, and you guys just say what you want to say.
Do whatever. Yeah, say whatever you want.
Which is always the move.
Yeah, especially
if you've got funny people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, dude, Martin Lawrence, freaking great stand-up comic, and Will Smith, great comic actor. Let them riff.
Oh man, dude. So when I'm picturing Dana Carvey and John Lovitz, I'm literally picturing Garth from Wayne's World, and I'm picturing John Lovitz from
The Critic. I've been rewatching The Critic. I downloaded it.
Oh God, no! It wasn't The Critic. I was thinking from A League of Their Own. Just wearing the suit that just is all baggy.
Well, you shut up. See, the way it works is the train moves and not the station.
See, like, it would be a funny movie if he was a cop. I just don't see him as a cop. I don't. See
it would be straight comedy. Like it would be like what's the freaking one with Will Ferrell and the other guys?
Yeah,
it's freaking. It's funny, but like you're not going like great action movie. It's like, dude, it's just funny people being funny who are also police officers.
Yeah, who also happen to be police officers.
Yeah, totally.
No, dude, no awards. I didn't find any awards for this.
It's weird. Yeah, it flew under the radar, but it is incredible. Sequels and spinoffs, we got a bunch of those.
Yeah. Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys for Life in 2020. So this is 95, and it's not until 2003 when they make Bad Boys 2.
That seems crazy. I would have thought they would have done this like I think the problem was that Will Smith got so famous so fast because of this movie. Because after this, he does Independence Day, and then he does Men in Black.
That's pretty big.
And remember, it's like there's a while there it was like Will Smith opens the biggest movie of every year on 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
So I think it just took that long before. I think they could just. I think it took that long before they could find another script that he wanted to do,
and that had time to make it happen. Yeah.
But yeah, that's surprising to me too that it was 8 years to come back and do another one of these.
Dude, and Bad Boys 2 is good. If we're still doing it in 2003, we're definitely doing Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, I love Bad Boys 2.
I can remember there wasn't we talked about this right before we got on the Elmwood 20 theater at the Palace there. There was another one that was out in New Orleans East, and it had like the rattly seats and the laser projection. Yeah. And I can remember it's like 2003 because Bad Boys 2 is out, and I hadn't seen it yet, and I'd been putting it off and hadn't seen it. And then Paul said, dude, we got to go see Bad Boys 2. We should go here. It's got the laser projection. It's super bright, super loud, rattly seats. It's New Orleans East. And my mom was like, I don't know if you should go to the East. It turned out to be fine. Cover. Yeah, it turned out to be fine. I mean, the shooting wasn't until the following weekend, but we ended up seeing Bad Boys 2 in that theater, and it was awesome.
You want to go to the Elmwood where it stays white out later.
Yeah, it definitely does.
As the suburbanites say over there.
It's definitely better than where I saw this one in the Hammond Theater. Dude, do you remember where you saw this one?
I don't, and I think I must have rented it because I don't remember. It feels like the kind of movie I would. Like, normally action movies that come out in the spring and in the summer, my dad would just take me to that. But I don't think he did to this one. And I don't know. I don't remember, man. I remember I've seen it a million times. I own it.
Right.
But I don't know when I first saw it.
I own this one also, but I vividly remember where I saw it because this is 95. I'm old enough to see it in the theater because it's rated R. Isn't it R? It's R, right?
Dude, the number of F-bombs and explosions, this thing had to be rated R.
I'm making sure. So I knew I was old enough to see it, and this is one of the ones I saw by myself. And I know a lot of people are like, crap on that. I can't believe you go to the movies by yourself. Like,
that's always weird to me because, like, what can you do in the movies with anyone else?
Right.
Like, even when I think 25 or 30 years ago when me and you used to go see movies together, like, that was super fun for us, but also shitty for everyone else because we're, like, giggling and poking each other and, like,
right.
That's making it worse for everyone else. It's better to just go by yourself and then talk about it after.
See, so, like, I can see if somebody's like, I can't believe you went out to eat at that restaurant by yourself. I can do that, too, but I kind of get that.
Yeah.
That's
I like to do that because I like to read my book while I'm eating and not talk to anyone. But yeah, I get that.
But the issue in the movies is normally you don't really do a lot of talking. So I don't know why people shit on that. But the point is I went and saw this. We're still a few years away from Elmwood. I saw this at the Town and Country, right down the street from the Eckerd right down the way from the Eckerd that I worked at,
which is CVS,
which is owned by. Yeah, which was owned by J.C. Penney's, which was sold to CVS in 2000 and something. So the point is I remember where I saw this one. I saw it by myself, big thing of popcorn, elbow deep into the bucket, covered with butter, just laughing and loving it.
They're doing the summertime like $1 movie Tuesday, Wednesday mornings for kids. So I'm trying to find one that I can take Wolf to. He's like 3.5. He doesn't really know. Like, any movie that's PG is probably going to be too intense for him. But I'm like, eventually they'll do like some shit, like Paw Patrols or something. And he and I can go, pay $1, have a whole bunch of popcorn, and then like 20 minutes in when he's
30
bored,
minutes in, he'll be like, I'm tired.
Well, he'll just be like, I don't like this, put on something else. And I'll be like, that's not how this works. We're not in charge.
Yeah. So what'd you rate this one?
Man, it's... I should say first, before we get too deep into this one, that this movie has a million quotes that I really like, and many of them involve a 4-letter word that starts with the letter F. So if you are sensitive to language, you don't want to listen to this one. Or if your kids are around, send them somewhere else. Because they say fuck a lot. And if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to have to say fuck several times as well. Which we normally try to keep the podcast PG-13.
Right.
So, all that to say is, this movie's fucking awesome. Dude.
It's great.
Yeah, it's so weird because we just talked about Beverly Hills Cop 2 on Patreon, out now, Beverly Hills Cop 2. That was a Simpson Bruckheimer movie, and like the look of it, you were saying how they make it look like kind of yellow and like kind of natural, like when every time a movie goes to Mexico, suddenly everything's yellow.
Yeah,
like they just like that.
Stuff. Right.
Yeah, the magic hour. They just like that look. And when this movie opens, it's like even the poster's them in the freaking magic hour, the golden hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I forgot that this is Simpson Bruckheimer and Michael Bay. Like I can see, we just talked about it for Beverly Hills Cop 2. It looks great.
Yeah.
Dude, just like Speed and just like Die Hard with a Vengeance, it's fucking shot out of a cannon. It opens like if you're trying to write action movies, you should just watch those 3 movies and just go like exactly how the first 5 minutes of those movies is how you start action movies.
Right.
Like it sets everything up because it's the two of them driving in the Porsche and they're arguing about shit. He spills the French fries. He's like, my shit don't fit. You got a design flaw. My shit don't fit down in there. And he pulls over. He's like, get it now.
Get the fry.
And then they try to carjack him, and dude, it's like they're arguing. They do the thing where they're arguing, and they freaking take out the guys. And it's like, Wesley Snipes, passenger 57, give me a motherfucking handy wipe. Like, and then it's the Mark Mancina score, which is like iconic early 90s action movie score.
Yeah.
Also scored Speed, and then they hit you with the title card, and I was like, hell yeah, this is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
They do everything right.
So I gave it a 9.5 because I have never come across this movie when it was like, even if it's on like TBS, like we saw in the trailer, even if it's on like that and I happen to see that it's on and I click it and it's on a part that I remember, I'll watch it at least until the next commercial. Like if it's on like that quasi TV thing I have that just shuffles through all my movies, and I see it, dude, I watch it. Like I feel like this is a movie that I would probably not get tired of.
I'll tell you why.
Eventually.
I'll tell you why I dinged it, and it's all very minor stuff. Number 1, it's 2 hours, and I could easily cut 15 minutes out of it. Number 2, the whole last 20 minutes of the movie, the bad guys who are just trying to like sell heroin for $200 million. They come and kidnap Tia Leoni, who's the only witness to a murder, and then they keep her alive to call the cops and taunt them. That makes absolutely no sense. They would just shoot her. The whole time they were just trying to shoot her. They had her, and they kept her alive.
Just shoot her.
But they weren't even trying to exchange her for anything. They were still saying they were going to shoot her. They just said, like, we'll do it in 4 hours. That makes no sense.
Right.
So now that I'm, like, taking notes on it, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Never in 30 years have I cared about that until yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. The whole time I got to the end, and I was like... Because I thought that same thing, and then I was like, oh, I don't even care about that. Did you see how the Porsche just beat that other car into the thing, and then he slammed into the wall and spun around?
The Shelby Cobra?
Like,
no.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the last scene where they have the shootout at the hangar was like so Michael Bay. It's his first movie. It's his directorial, his feature debut, and I was like, every fucking thing in here is exploding. This is... Last year he was directing a Got Milk commercial, and his first shot, he's like, every fucking thing blows up. Get the cameras, get it ready. We've got $20 million for this movie. I've got 19 allotted for exploding barrels, so get the cameras turned on. And I was like, dude, this is absolutely, like, it's great. I love it, but it's so unrealistic. And it's like, I know in my head it only gets worse from here. So I'm already like, this is what happened when... This is what happens when you get too famous. It's like no one can tell him, like, hey man, it's just too many explosions. We got to dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, he don't care though. He likes he likes the Bayhem. What I was going to say is they're on the DVD. I watched it on the DVD I found. There is it's called The Bang and Boom of Bad Boys or something like that. And it's the
like
guy
a special feature.
Yeah, like the featurette where the guy who was actually the gun handler and the explosives person was on there telling them. So like when Martin Lawrence is in Téa Leoni's house and the guy shoots the shotgun and it just blows a circle hole. He was like, it wouldn't do that. Here's what it looks like. They set a door up in the desert and he shot it in super slow motion and showed what it looked like. So like over the top, it is not realistic. When that hangar explodes and you could see like comet-looking explosions flying out of there.
Dude, there's literal actual firecrackers flying out of there.
Yeah, it was great. But all that said, after thinking about what you thought about for the first time ever, because I was taking notes, I also will always rewatch this. I gave it a 9.5.
Dude, it's awesome. I don't fault that at all. I just you like Michael Bay more than I do, and I
totally like
Michael Bay. His direct quote is like, "I make movies for teenage boys." Like he's not trying to like win Oscars. He's like, "I want as much shit to blow up as possible." It's great.
Yeah, did you see him when he said that? He went like this. He was like, "I make movies for teenage boys. Oh dear, what a crime!" Like put his hands on his cheeks. Yeah,
and he shouldn't because he's the sixth highest grossing director in movie history.
Yeah,
but I always think about the story about when Ben Affleck was making Armageddon with Michael Bay, and Affleck's like told the story on a talk show. He's like, I remember asking a director, like, "Hey, Mike, would it make like why would they get oil drillers to go to the asteroid? Why wouldn't they just train astronauts to do that?" And Michael Bay just said, "Shut the fuck up." So like I love that he's like, "Shut up." The space shuttle dropped him off. Stop focusing on the wrong part of the story.
You're focusing on the wrong part.
It's going to be awesome. Just shut up. So like I appreciate
that. And it was awesome.
It was absolutely was awesome. But yeah, this movie is incredible. What I want to know is, because you and I are very much middle-aged men, do any women like this movie? Because it seems like not at all for them.
All right, so my wife really likes action movies.
Yeah, mine does too.
Really likes bang shoot 'em up movies. And she's mentioned on numerous occasions while we're watching these movies, oh man, that's pretty over the top.
Yeah.
So I think she gets that, but she loves these movies. Like we saw the last two to get like we went to the movies
we did
to see
too.
The last two.
But I just can't imagine my wife if I was like out of town, if I'm going backpacking or something. She's like, I'm gonna have a quiet dinner. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of red wine, and I'm gonna turn on Bad Boys. like she just. So I like.
Well, this isn't more. I don't feel like Bad Boys is follows up a quiet dinner and a glass of wine. Bad Boys follows up like, hey, I just had chicken wings and a beer,
and I've got football on the other TV.
Yeah. I don't know, but every time so I got a really good version of this 4K super bright 7.1, and we cranked it up to listen to some of the explosions. And Kat walked from the other room to watch it, and she was like, "Oh, watch this part, Jake. You'll like this." Like she likes these movies, but dude, I can't imagine it's for all the women.
I mean, obviously, there's nothing saying women can't like action movies. Just you love romantic comedies, but I'm also just like the women that I know, even the ones that like action movies. I don't know if they're like I don't think they're gonna like it as much as we're gonna like it. I'm saying for the most part.
Yeah,
if I can generalize, but it's freaking awesome, and and it's totally worth 9+ for me. All right, let's do.
It's fantastic.
Let's do scenes, man. I had a lot of scenes. All right, top 3?
Okay. My very first one is when they're in convenience store. They both picked up Téa Leoni. Oh, man. And they're in there and they're arguing over stuff back and forth.
She's trying to pick out shampoo, and she's a freaking hippie. She's like, animal tested, and Martin Lawrence like, I don't care, just get the shampoo.
And Will Smith goes to check for his thing and shows his gun, and the guy behind the
convenience
counter
store clerk.
Yeah, dude, do you know who that is, by the way? That's the guy who saved freaking Iron Man. That's I didn't recognize him until
Jensen. I just watched Iron Man last week, so I recognized him.
Yeah. I saw it this time, and I was like, oh my god, that's the same guy who freaking
free his mother bitches.
Yeah, as soon as he
improvised.
Free his mother bitches is hysterical. And then they go back and forth. He's like, I blow you, and then I blow you. He's like, blow me. What the
badges? 99 cents.
Yeah. So he's like, see, I told you the badges thing didn't work. And then she just storms off. He's still got the gun out, and he goes, "No, you freeze, bitch!" And he pulls it out, and he's like, "Now back up, give me a pack of tropical fruit bubblicious." And Martin's like, "And some Skittles." Dude, when people are arguing and one person like drops the mic and yells and they walk off, I go, "And some Skittles." Like, I still say it like that at the end of a nice argument. I love that freaking scene. It's fantastic. The guy that saved Tony Stark is fantastic. Sean something.
Yeah, Sean
Taub.
Taub. I have that in my quotes because I have said, "Give me a pack of tropical fruit bubblicious." Yeah. And some Skittles. Like a couple thousand times probably this year.
Oh, man. Yes.
And it's one of those where I can never remember if that's from Bad Boys or Bad Boys 2. So I was actually thinking, I was like, oh, maybe that's from Bad Boys 2 because it comes really late in the movie.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. The funny thing is I think the action in this is really good, but I don't think it's as good as Die Hard with a Vengeance or with Speed, but the comedy brings it over the top for me. And the action is very good. It's just like, it's insane. None of my scenes are action scenes.
Yeah.
So my first one is they're leaving the police station and like they just got in trouble and the captain was yelling. I was like, I'll get them all in before you guys came in.
Oh shit! That's
and
my
they're
next
driving
one.
away and it's like,
wait, no, this is mine. Okay.
They leave. They're driving away and then like they're kind of like ripping each other in the police car. And Martin Lawrence is like, people seem to think Mike Lowrey gonna be all right. He's like, I don't have a trust fund. If I don't have a job, it means I don't have a check. And then Will Smith's like, oh, is that what they? I'm playing cop. Is that what people saying? And then, dude, he's like, fuck you, and fuck them, and fuck everybody who got a problem with Mike Lowrey. And Martin Lawrence goes, I love you, man. He's like, fuck you, Marcus.
He's like, my wife, no, I ain't no bitch. I'm a bad boy.
And that's the first time they start singing Bad Boy in the car. And I was like, dude, I don't know why, but I love that scene. It's like,
dude, what's the
all of the shit with them like ripping each other and like going back and forth and like they shout each other and then it's like, I love you, man. Shut up. Like that shit I love.
What about, dude, when Martin is singing it in that scene?
Yeah.
What do you think made him sing it like that? What you gotta do? Like the way
dude,
he's singing it.
I have no idea.
Me. It is so good.
Dude,
I thought you were gonna say my next scene. The next scene I have is Captain Howard.
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants is shooting basketball, and there's basketballs all over. And he's shooting them, and he's missing them all.
I knew you were going to put that one in there. I love that one.
Because as soon as they walk in, he says one of the quotes that I say all the time. Do you remember what I said? I remember what I said because I was standing there when I said it. I say that to my kids.
I got that in my bonus quotes.
Dude, I say that to my kids all the time. All the time. Like my school kids and my freaking real kids. And then they come in and he's like, you be you, but not when you're around him, and him, you be, and all of that. And he was like, then, Will Smith picks up the ball, shoots it, and makes it in one try. It's like, everybody want to be like Mike. It's like, yeah, you're going to be retired like him too. I freaking love everything about that. Joey Pants. I'm so glad he came back for all the rest of them.
Dude, he's the best. And I also love in that scene is like Will Smith's like got a freaking concussion. He's like holding an ice pack. And Captain is yelling at Marcus, and then Will Smith pops in. He's like, yo, Captain, I didn't kill anybody yet today. He's like, you want me to yell at you?
He's like, what about on the way to that meeting? And they're going up the thing, and Martin is just going to town. I got a Power Ranger stuck up my ass. Like he is just going crazy. That's
how you can tell that this whole movie is improvised because none of that dialogue would have worked if John Lovitz had said it, and John Lovitz is hilarious.
Yeah, both of those guys are super funny. They're just a different funny. They're different.
Way different.
So what's your next one?
My next scene. Again, I don't even know why I picked it, but I just had a long list, and I ended up with my favorites. My next one is he's arguing with Martin Lawrence is arguing with his wife because he's got to go pretend to be Mike Lowrey and keep the witness T. Leoni, and he's like packing some stuff up and then Will Smith comes up the stairs and they're arguing. He's like, yeah, and he's trying to like pop. He's what Captain said was he said I can't go because I'm he said was loose cannon is what he said because I'd be shooting for like no reason. and dude, and Martin Lawrence is like Mike, go downstairs. Have a Coke and a smile.
And then he leaves and comes back. Anybody want anything?
He's like, you want a Coke? Yeah. Bring me a Coke. And dude, that's another one of those interactions where those guys are freaking hilarious. All the shit they say is cracking me up, and it's
so. Do you think like they just said like this is the main gist of the scene, and the rest is just them going to town? It just feels like so much them.
Well, what I read was that Michael Bay just didn't really like the script, and he would just talk to the two of them. Like he's like, hey, he would let them improvise while the cameras were rolling, and he'd also talk about that before they shot it. Like, what do you think we should do here? What you guys think you should say? And they would kind of like throw stuff back and forth. So it probably was both.
That's freaking crazy.
But dude, and all that stuff, it's funny because if you're able to improvise, it's such a great move because it makes it feel so authentic. It makes it feel so natural. It's like, he said, loose cannon. Was like, I just be shooting. like how could the freaking writers, old white guys, write that dialogue for Will Smith and have it sound natural? Like, he has to come up with it himself, and it's awesome. And it's like Will Smith doesn't even talk like that, but it's perfect.
Yeah, I know it's old white guys, but in my head, I just picture that's actually Will Smith and Martin Lawrence doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they still got the writing credit, and good for them. But I don't know why that scene. I don't know if anyone else would have that as one of their top 3 scenes, but I freaking always love it, and I've like said just to have a Coke and a smile a bunch of times.
Coke and a smile. So my last one is they go see JoJo.
The reformed drug dealer / tire guy.
Yeah, and he's like their informant.
Yeah.
And he's trying to help them out. So they go see JoJo. He's like, what you into, JoJo? He's like, nothing. I just do tires. now. That's all I do is I'm into rubber. I just do tires. Let me set you up. Well, then they come back to see JoJo, and that's my actual scene.
Yeah.
And apparently JoJo lied to him, and they figured that out. So Will Smith is like holding a gun to his head, and Martin is playing along with it like he's actually going to shoot him. And he was like, tell him something, JoJo. Come on, man. And then he says something wrong to Will Smith, and Will Smith pulls the gun on Martin Lawrence. He's like, so sad, JoJo. I ain't trying to get that brain on me. She gets in your clothes and it stinks. The amount of times that I've spilled something on my clothes and said, that shit gets in your clothes and it stinks, all the time.
That's not on my list, but that's also one of my favorite scenes.
And I love JoJo. That guy, the Imperoli, Mike Imperoli. Dude, he's fantastic.
Michael Imperoli. He was in The Sopranos for like...
Sopranos, that's where I remember him from, other than this.
But dude, he's like, Will Smith is like got the gun and he's like, JoJo, he's like, I got 15. He's like, I'm going to feed you some hot shit. Yeah. And then Martin Lawrence is like playing it up. He's like, tell him something, JoJo. Don't go down like that. And he's like, Mike, I ain't a part of this. He's like, he ain't worth it. And then he's like, they like cut to Martin Lawrence. He's like in a hallway, like leaned back, like just shouting stuff like out the side of his mouth.
Tell him something, JoJo. Remember, you splatter his ass. He ain't no good to us. And he just walks off.
God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love that one. My last one is going to be probably no surprise to you at all because Martin Lawrence is sitting with T. Leoni and they're going through the computer
to
try to figure out who the guy is.
I put this in my quotes.
And dude, he's like eating a giant freaking sandwich and like mustard spilling everywhere. And he's like, you want something to eat? And she's like, no, I don't. She's like, I don't eat flesh. He's like, this is bologna. He's like, my bologna's got
first name.
Got first name. She's like, well, your bologna actually has like 30 first names because they take the parts of the animals and there's like the hooves and the ears and the stomach lining and they grind them all up. It comes out in a sheet and then that's where your bologna comes from. He's like, and he's like, all right, I don't eat bologna no more. And he's like, what about pickle? Can I eat the pickle? She's like, well, it's got a lot of salt. He's like, you could eat it. It's a vegetable. Dude, he freaking dips it in a Coke. He's like, look at that. So how about now? He's like, I don't even taste the salt.
And the way he eats it, he's like, he holds his hand up under it and like takes the bite. Dude, fan-freaking-tastic scene.
But I was going to just put, what about a pickle? Can I eat the pickle? In my quotes, but I was like, I want to do the whole thing because the whole interaction is genius.
Dude, so let me remind you, Rush Hour, the movie with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Oh, yes.
Remember on the actual CD of their soundtrack, they had like clips from the movie that were just audio. Like, don't you ever touch a black man's radio, boy?
Yeah.
All right, so after that came out, we had an epiphany that when we make CDs, mix CDs, we can throw different clips. And, dude, we used to have that clip about the baloney on CDs. Like,
yes.
I remember a whole folder full of, like, quotes from different movies. And I would just throw them in to fill up the CD to get the whole 70 minutes.
Right. Throw a couple extra tracks in there at the end.
Yeah, a couple of reprises and a couple of side notes. Dude.
Peebo Bryson.
I freaking love that quote because I had it on like 8 CDs. And every time it would come on, I'd be quoting it like I'm singing along with a song. It's freaking great.
Yeah, man. The funny thing is that neither of us put any of the action scenes in our favorites.
No.
That tells you
this
how funny this movie is.
Yeah, it's super funny. All right, so, and we talked about this before. Those are my quotes that I put in as quotes. But then there's some that I always say. And
we haven't actually done quotes yet. We've just done scenes.
Oh, I forgot about the quotes. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
My first, I had way too many quotes, so I had to really, and we've already said a couple of them, but my first quote was, which one I say all the time, is, you threw Yvette out naked?
Dude, I have that in there.
It's like titty hanging out a little bit.
Titty hanging out a little bit.
It was a massage. It was a masseuse. She massaged his shit.
Dude, when Will Smith walks up and he looks over at Tay Leoni and she goes, are there any other half-naked women going to pop around? And he turns around and he's like, she was naked? Like, the way he says she was naked?
Yeah.
I freaking love it. That was one of my quotes. You threw Yvette out naked?
The whole thing where he's staying in Mike's apartment and everything's super nice, and then Will Smith comes in there and he's like, ooh, hold on a second. He's like, you got some stain on your rug. He's like, oh, it's a little looky, and dude, his stomach's upset, and Mike said, don't worry about it, and Martin Lawrence like, yeah, because I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm
just gonna throw it out.
I'm gonna redecorate. He's like,
dude,
Will Smith's like, if somebody was shitting all over my house, he's like, I would be pissed. He's like freaking Stink Eye and Martin Lawrence. All of that shit, I love.
What about when they first get there and Martin why am I tripping over stuff I know is there? Every time I trip in front of all the students, I say that out loud, and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
And then, dude, he's got the whole wall of pictures. Like, this is my partner. He's like, it's just one for every time he saved my life. You go to his house, it's just saying nothing but pictures of me.
Oh, man.
She's like, because I thought you might have been. He's like, you slept in the bed? You didn't feel the lump? That's from all of this. She's like, no, it's okay to be gay. He's like, guys. Dude, how offended he got when she suggested that he might be gay. It was perfect 95, and his reaction was hilarious.
Dude, I can't remember where I read it about this. It was one of the things where they were talking about how she improvised that and he didn't know she was going to say that. Same way, and in the same paragraph, they were talking about how in that car ride that you were talking about in the beginning, Michael Bay tells Will Smith to call Martin Lawrence a bitch.
Yeah.
And that just sets him off. He's like, I ain't no bitch. My wife know I ain't no. We'd be 2 bitches in the seat. That's a movie. Like, that whole thing, because he improvised all that because he didn't know he was going to call him a bitch. That's really great.
That's why it's great to put comedians, sitcom actors in movies. They just have so much experience with stuff like that.
They just vamp.
That you threw Yvette out naked was my first quote.
That was my second quote. But and my first quote was I don't eat bologna no more. But so we already talked about that. The other one that I had was you mean you want to spend $80,000 for this car and you ain't got no damn cup holders? Because I don't know if you know this, a lot of cars don't have cup holders anymore.
Yeah.
So I say that one quite often when I'm riding in somebody's car and I'm like, because in the back seat you got to pull that thing down sometimes to get to the cup holders.
Little console area.
Yeah, the little armrest thing. So if somebody's sitting in the middle and I'm like, hey man, you got a cup holder? It's like, no, we ain't got no cup holders back there. And I get to throw that quote out, and I say it like Martin Lawrence, and nobody has any idea what I'm talking about, and I freaking love it.
And if I was driving the car, I could say, you're in the back, it don't matter. Hold on, don't start the car.
Buckling up like you're going out of the atmosphere. And at the end when he's like, man, this is a limited edition. zero to 60 in 4 seconds. And he's like, you damn right it's limited. No cup holder, no backseat, just a shiny dick with 2 chairs in it. Dude, I freaking love that. I love it. That was another one of those ones that I just threw into the CDs to fill up the space. By the way, that car that does go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds because it's a limited edition, that Porsche was actually Michael Bay's Porsche.
Nice.
He used that car as Mike Lowrey's car. He didn't do that in the second one. They got a different car for that.
Yeah.
But in this one, it was Michael Bay's actual car.
I was trying to look up because I don't know exactly what model Porsche that was. I think it was a 911 Turbo.
It was definitely a 911, but I don't know if.
But what I'm seeing online, because I was trying to look it up, because at the end they race a classic Shelby Cobra, and Will Smith's like, "Go ahead, this is a faster car," and I was like, I don't know if it is actually faster. And I'm looking them up online, like that's a real close race, because the internet says that the Shelby Cobra, if it's got a 427, could go under 4 seconds, 0 to 60, and the Porsche can go 0 to 60 in like 4.3 seconds. Doesn't mean that one doesn't have a better top end, but I was like, I think that's a real close race, especially with one of them having 3 people in it. But if I'm going to quibble, it's not going to be over that. But I was kind of curious.
I was going to be honest. I don't know what any of those actual numbers mean when you're saying
$7,000 unicorns in the headliner. That sounds about right. I was going to say $7,000. I have to make the sound that my car makes if I go to the mechanic. Can you fix that?
Yeah, I don't know what the 427 means, but I do know that there are cars without cup holders.
It's true. Yeah, that's facts.
What is the 427?
That's cubic inches. That's the displacement of the engine. The bigger number means the bigger engine.
It's got to be bigger because that's what the ladies like.
Yeah. Plus, this is America. 427 Freedom units is the size of that engine. My next quote is another one we already talked about, which is, back up, put the gun down, and give me a pack of tropical fruit bubblicious. Yeah, and some Skittles.
Dude, and some Skittles is my jam. I freaking love it.
I wonder if you like hold some Skittles, then like you're supposed to either get their permission or like times they pay you for that, like product placement. But if you just reference it, is it the same thing? I don't know if it is. Because then also one time when Martin Lawrence was in the club, like peeing, he's like, Budweiser's, I feel like I drank about 1 million of them. I was like, do you have to pay to like mention a brand, or do you just not do that because you want them to pay?
Yeah, I think it's the second one. I think only if you're going to be like, Skittles are the worst candy ever, and it gives me diarrhea, and that's all you talk about. Skittles would be like, hey, don't do that.
Or like when on the White Lotus, when the guy was wearing the Duke shirt and he was like murdering people, and Duke was like, hey man, we don't like that.
Why are you doing
and I was
that?
Like, well, everybody hates Duke already. You guys should just lean into it.
Yeah, nobody likes Duke.
Yeah. My third quote is one that I forgot was from this movie, but it's, my shit always works sometime.
Dude, that's one of the ones I say the most, and I put that in my extra.
Yeah.
Dude, my shit always works sometimes. When they're coming up with a plan and then he yells that, come on, that is, man. I don't know how to explain. How do you explain what he's doing when he says that? Like, he's just like very confident, chest out. He's like, my shit always works sometimes. I freaking love that Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like the angry Michael Jackson. We always used to talk about like when he gets like that Michael Jackson we used to like. I like that Will Smith when he's like pointing a lot and chest out and getting all. It's freaking great.
Like arrogant Mike Lowrey. He's like, this is Mike Lowrey.
Dude.
What was your third quote?
My third one was when he was talking to John Sally, and he says, if you don't sit your lanky ass down right now, bottom line, I will knock you the fuck out. And he is looking up at like 6'10" John Sally.
Yeah, John Sally.
Oh, God. It's freaking great. And he's got the big, thick glasses on. It's wonderful. I'm glad he came back for the sequels, too.
I know, me too. And he's got the orange jumpsuit on. They like sprung him out of jail to break into shit.
And he's like pointing at Martin with his handcuffs. He's
with his handcuffs.
I'm doing a legal favor for you. Dude, real fast. Go ahead.
My bonus quotes, we've already said a couple of them. One of them is from like 30 seconds in the movie. Wesley Snipes, passage at 57. Now give me a motherfucking handy wipe.
When he knocks that guy, the big guy out.
Shit always cracks me up. And then the other one's the one you said. I heard what I said because I was standing there when I said it.
Dude, I love Captain Howard.
Yeah,
dude.
And then my last bonus quote is when they break into the house accidentally, and
accidentally.
Martin Lawrence like, no, too much bass in your voice, scaring white people. And he's like,
Yeah.
Can we borrow some brown sugar?
Dude, I like when the kids are like, Mr. Because I don't yell in class, right? So I just like, I know how much time this shit takes, and if y'all want to talk now instead of after, that's fine, but we're about to start in like 3 minutes. So I just sit there and wait. And they're like, Mr. Horn, you want him to shut up? Why don't you just yell? I was like, yeah, you got to put some bass in your voice, man. I scare white folk. Just be like, yeah! And I just yell really loud, and they all shut up all of a sudden. I say that kid doesn't know that's from Bad Boys, and I just take it and just throw it into a regular conversation like it's nothing. Dude, I say it all the freaking time. I freaking love it. On that same thing where he's like, watch where you swinging the dead leg. I love that also.
Oh man,
it's fantastic. Dude, that's all my bonus too. We had a lot of the same bonus. That's fantastic.
I know.
Fantastic stuff.
It's delightful. Do you got anything else before we go to characters?
No. That's all of them.
Characters.
Dude,
Lowrey.
I picked
Marcus
Will
Burnett.
Smith first. Dude, I picked Will Smith first. I like Martin Lawrence, but dude, I love freaking 90s and early 2000s Will Smith. I think he's funny.
He's great, man.
He's actiony. Like I mean, he's getting a little crazy now.
Yeah.
But dude, I can remember like 1988 listening to "He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper." Like Parents Just Don't Understand. Sitting at Camp Abbey on the top bunk with Michael Prescia under me, and we're splitting a set of headphones that I literally broke in half because they didn't have two earbuds.
Yeah.
It was just a piece that I broke in half so he could listen and I could listen. Dude, that's freaking I've been liking Will Smith since like I was 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I love
like,
Will Smith, dude. I had his album on tape. I used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when I got home from school.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I was thinking about it when I was watching this movie because I was like, dude, this is like, it's kind of like the first Die Hard. Like it was a first-time screenwriter. It was a first-time director. It was the guy from Moonlighting. And then like a theater actor is the villain. And like that should not have worked. And this is like, dude, Michael Bay literally the year before, 1993, they shoot this in 94, it comes out in 95. In 93, he's shooting commercials. He shoots the Got Milk commercial where it's Aaron Burr's. Which we've talked about on the podcast before. That's what he did before this.
Yeah.
Will Smith is on TV. Martin Lawrence is on TV. Martin Lawrence gets offered the movie. Right. Martin Lawrence told the story. He's like, I wanted to do it with Eddie Murphy. Eddie's my guy.
Yeah.
And like they were doing an interview, and Will Smith's like, you know I'm sitting right here, right? He's like, everybody knows. He's like, but I'm saying at the time, he's like, I wanted Eddie. I couldn't afford Eddie. And my sister was like, you should do it with Will Smith. He's like, you should talk to Will Smith. And so he's like, I had Will come over. He's like, we talked for like 5 minutes in. I was like, done. He's like, just sit. This is my guy. He's like, take the two of the biggest like black sitcom stars, put them in a movie. But it's like, that shouldn't have worked. First time director, like a script that had been rewritten 6 times and 2 TV actors. And then like, I'm like, I don't understand how.
But think about
it's great.
But to me, I'm thinking about like all the stuff we talked about from Michael Bay so far, where it's like, it's over the top and he's way too much. But like him making the like, hey, I want him to be shirtless because I'm going to try to make Will Smith a sex symbol, or hey, call him a bitch, just see what he says. Like let him riff.
It's
like,
awesome.
I think he's a good director.
Oh, dude, he's an awesome director.
I think he goes over the top for sure, but I also like that. So
yeah, dude, he's making a very specific type of movie, and I think it's awesome. But I remember because I remember reading about that too. It's like Will Smith, he does the chase scene where it's like his shirt's flapping open. He didn't want to do it. Yeah. And Michael Bay's like, do it. He's like, I'm going to make you a movie star. He's like, this is it. Like, you're going to be running down the streets of Miami with your like abs showing and like holding a pistol. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's true. And also, if you have abs, why would you be wearing a shirt to begin with? Because I never had abs. So I was like, why wouldn't I would just
abs? What are those?
Light all my shirts on fire if I had abs. I don't need those ever again unless it's a funeral. And then I might do like Tay Diggs style with just a jacket with no shirt underneath it.
No shirt.
Like,
oh man.
I got Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as my first two.
Yeah, dude,
that's
I
kind of
Martin
a no-brainer.
Also.
They're freaking
he's great. So good, so good.
And then the third one was tough because I freaking love I love Joey Pants, but I wanted to give it to Tia Leoni because I thought she was really good.
There is very...
And she's in more of this movie.
I was going to say, there's nothing I don't like about her. Because she's smoking hot. She's a really good actress. She's been in a ton of things since this that I've liked.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick her as my third character. I could not pick Joey Pants, dude. I freaking love that dude.
I think it would be easier to recast her than Joey Pants. If I had to if I had to replace one of them, it'd be harder to replace Joey Pants. Although if I put freaking Danny DeVito there, I'm sure it would be awesome. But I was like, I don't know. I want to do a better job of recognizing women, and she was awesome in this. So
there was very few women, that's for sure, in this.
Yeah, I got Tia Leoni.
Yeah, I went with Joey Pants. Both of them are good picks, though. Both of them.
Dude, I can't knock it, man. Director Michael Bay. Like again, I can't. He's a commercial director. He wins a couple Clio awards, which is like the top advertising award for making commercials. Literally for the Got Milk commercial about Aaron Burr, which I think we played on one of our podcasts a couple years ago.
It's a great friggin' commercial, too.
Look up the Aaron Burr Got Milk commercial. It's fantastic.
It's got the
and you'll recognize the kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in That Thing You Do. He's the one that's he's the one that's yelling from the back.
It's Sean Whalen is the kid's name.
Dude, Michael Bay, if you haven't looked up what Bayhem is, like Mayhem with Michael Bay's name, Bayhem, it's just explosions and swagger and the circular like tracking shot of them standing up.
The like wrap around.
Yeah, he uses like movement and composition and very fast editing, but it makes the world seem so big that it's in. And like there's a video that explains it that I was watching, and they talk about like how Tony Scott does this stuff now too. Like you'll see something in the foreground, like maybe a light pole or something, and that sets your frame of reference, and then the main characters or whatever will be in the middle, and then there's stuff going on in the background. And they showed like all these different shots that Michael Bay does and why they work so well compared to other movies. When they showed like some of the wraparound shots in like Pearl Harbor and Bad Boys and all the Bad Boys, he does it, and he does one with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, whatever that is. Dude, he's awesome. Like I love the way he sets him up.
All the Simpson Bruckheimer like golden hour stuff that gives it such a like distinct look. It's fantastic. And because I was looking at it, it's like, dude, this guy, it's their first movie, Martin and Will Smith, and it's his first feature direction. Yeah. And here's his first like 6 or 7 movies. He does Bad Boys, he does The Rock, he does Armageddon, he does Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2, and then he does The Island, and then he does Transformers.
Dude, The Island.
That's like 7 in a row where they were like one of the biggest movies of the year, and every one of them is badass. And then he starts to do a whole bunch of Transformers, which I don't care about. He does Pain and Gain, which I don't care about. But like he's still making tons of money, but now it's like full on Michael Bay.
What's the one with Gyllenhaal? I think it's called Ambulance, where he like
Ambulance.
runs away. Dude, it's got that same feel to it. It's like super sharp and very golden hour-ish. I love it. I love it.
And then at the end of his directed features, he has TBA Untitled Skibidi Toilet Film.
Oh my God!
I'm not available when that comes out. I can already tell you.
Dude, so like you just named all of those movies. I don't think all of those movies got great reviews though.
No, I'm sure they did not.
Like Pearl Harbor,
awesome.
I freaking love Pearl Harbor.
I love Pearl Harbor, and people crapped all over it, and I owned it on DVD. I had the double disc. I like it.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That probably got a freaking 40 on IMDb.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Bad Boys and The Rock and Armageddon were huge movies. Yeah. But even Armageddon got, like, crapped on by critics. But, like, that movie was huge. So I think, like... But like Michael Bay's a super interesting guy. Did you read the stuff about when he started? Like he was like Steven Spielberg, like filming stuff on an 8mm camera when he was little, and he literally said he like taped some firecrackers to a toy train and then filmed it with an 8mm camera. Like, he was blowing shit up when he was making his, like, 8mm kid films.
That's fantastic.
Like, this is a guy who knows what he wants to do with his life.
Right.
And then his first job in the industry is interning with George Lucas.
It's freaking that's a good step to go. That's a good way to go into the thing.
Yeah. So he's awesome. I also wanted to mention Mark Mancina, who did the music, because
dun, 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 dun. Wait, no, that
like
was
in
Speed.
they're the same. In
Yeah,
the
they're the
90s,
same.
dude, if you needed a like soundtrack for an action movie,
Yeah.
like he's your guy. Like, dude, Days of Thunder, True Romance, Speed,
Yeah, I was gonna say, who did
Bad
True Romance?
Boys,
I remember that.
Money Train, Twister, Con Air. Like, it's
Con
like, he's
Air.
the-
Hell
he's
yeah,
the
that was a
dude.
Bruckheimer film because I remember that being
Absolutely.
all golden hour-ish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also
Nice.
badass.
Yeah. What about the writers?
The writing is kind of complicated because it was written originally for Dana Carvey and John Lovitz, and then it was rewritten several times, and then they improvised the whole thing. So I don't even know. Like, I'll just say the
Yeah.
credited writers, who's Michael Berry, Jim Mulholland, and Doug Richardson.
Yeah.
But none of them really have a lot on their credit sheet other than this, and I don't know what their involvement really was other than maybe story structure.
Well, the first two guys I saw wrote Oscar, which
Yeah.
we didn't do in '91, and that's
know you
Stallone
love
as a
that.
comedian. It's so funny. So I could see how like the funny part would work, but like that Oscar is not even close to Bad Boys type of humor. So like,
No.
I think that is a lot of improvisation. But then you look at the last guy, the Doug Richardson guy. He did Money Train, and then Die Hard 2. So maybe he got the action and comedy together for that. Like, I don't know, dude. It's
Well, it's the thing, man. I don't want to like. I don't. It's when there's this many writers in this, and I mean that's the credited writers, which means there probably were twice as many who worked on this that weren't credited, and then we know they improvised most of the dialogue. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
It was badass. They all get writing credit for it. Good for them. But none of them worked on any of the other Bad Boys movies. So
Right.
I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
shout out because this is a great credit to have.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we talked about the Bruckheimer, Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer Productions, Simpson Bruckheimer Productions. We talked about that when we did Beverly Hills Cop on the Patreon, or part 2 on Patreon. But those guys also make a lot of fantastic movies, as far as I'm concerned. The whole Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, and what else did we do? The new Top Gun, Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
All
Simpson
those
Bruckheimer.
Pearl Harbor,
They do,
and Armageddon, Enemy of the
they
State,
do
like
all,
of those.
They do all the
Gone in
best
60 seconds.
action movies in our life.
Yeah. Remember the Titans. All those Caribbean movies were Bruckheimer, Simpson. I like all of those.
Yeah, what's not to like? And the only other thing I was going to mention with good is at the very end when the French guy pulls out his like secret gun to try to shoot Will Smith, and it's got 4 barrels. That's like a very specific type of handgun. I think it's a .357 Derringer, but it's got the 4, instead of the 1 barrel, it's got the 4, and it shoots 4 bullets at one time.
Oh, all at one time. Cool.
Yeah, and I just noticed that. I was like, that's a cool gun. I like when they put cool guns in movies because a lot of times they just use the same. Like, hey, it's a shotgun. That guy's across the football field. I don't know if that's going to work. It's like, doesn't matter. Shotguns look cool.
Dude, I freaking love that guy's voice, too.
I know.
His accent, he's like, I put a bullet in my kidneys because he fucked with my timetable.
Yeah.
And the next one
He's
is...
like, "You
idiot!" Yeah.
yeah, dude, I like it. He's got the angry French accent. It's great.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say his
he's-
name, but I cannot pronounce it at all.
I don't know. I thought he was from like Turkey or something.
He's from
playing-
Turkey. That's why I can't pronounce his name. It's like Cheki Cario.
Cario. Dude, did you see who was supposed to take Mike's role originally?
No.
And he turned it down later.
Oh, yeah, Arsenio
Future
Hall.
Brett. Arsenio. That's
I'm
crazy.
very glad that he did not take
Yeah,
that role.
me too. Me too. Think about Arsenio opening the largest movie every year. Oh, one last thing about Good for Me. Someone to Love, John B. and Babyface. Me Against the
Dude.
World, Tupac, and Shy Guy. All of those on the soundtrack. Those were all jams.
It was a great soundtrack. Shout out John B. I was actually thinking when the song hit, because Will Smith is like walking into his apartment building when the song comes in, and I'm thinking like Will Smith like in the 90s was like a badass movie star and was a Grammy-winning rapper, and like now he's like kind of a corny old guy with some like weird views on stuff. I'm like, would Tupac have gotten corny if he was still alive? Like Snoop Dogg, like coaching flag football and like being on TV, like making jokes to Martha Stewart, where would he would have like just like stayed hard? I don't know.
Stayed hard. You
like,
either
because Tupac was a theater kid. I mean, he.
Isn't it? What's the quote? You die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
But I was wondering that
Whatever
when I heard
Batman
Tupac,
thing
I was like,
yeah,
it sucks to
maybe,
die when you're 20 or whatever. But like, maybe
remembers.
Tupac's like, oh, dude, I forgot. I got to tell you this. I saw this on Instagram Reel. It's like the Seahawks mini camp or something like that. But they ask one of the like incoming rookies. They just go. The social media person just goes like, "Hey, what kind of magazine did the Notorious B.I.G. like to read?" And the kid's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And so that kid brings over another player. He's like, "What kind of magazine did Notorious B.I.G. like to read?" And he's like, "I don't." He's like, "Oh, I think it's from a song. I think it's from a song." And dude, by the end of the video, there's like 12 of them around there, all trying to remember the lyrics. And I'm like shouting at my phone, Jeff, what kind of magazine did Notorious B.I.G. like to read?
I have no idea.
It was all a dream. I used to read
Word Up magazine.
Dude.
So in my head the whole time I was thinking of there's another song where he says Vibe, Double XL, and Source, and all those are magazines too, and that's what I was thinking. But dude, Word Up magazine, yeah, freaking right. But those kids, they knew that from the song, but they didn't.
They knew the song, but none of them knew the lyrics. It was like, dude, it's like the first verse.
Yeah, it's the first line. By the way, do you know who Tupac was named after? Just for a history lesson here.
No.
He was named after Tupac Amaru the second, who is a revolutionary from Peru in the 1500s.
Nice.
His mom named him after that. I didn't know if you knew that. Since
I
we
was
brought up
not aware.
Tupac. Yeah, I teach that. That's why I was wondering if you knew.
Yeah, dude. No, great soundtrack. And I was wondering, would Tupac have aged? Would he be corny like Snoop Dogg and Will Smith, or would he have just? He probably would have died early, regardless.
I think it depends on how much money he gets. You know
I don't know,
what I'm
dude. 50 Cent and Eminem have a lot of money, but neither of them have gotten corny. They're still like kind of terrifying.
Yeah, they are.
Worst, dude. My worst is that I already talked about the very last scene. It's the explosion factory. There's a hangar where everything in there. It's propane tanks and ether tanks and gas tanks and fuel tanks. And
Everything's
just
filled
like
with
the
gas.
It's like, hey, let's have our meeting with $20 million, completely surrounded by things in flammable containers,
Right.
that are all going to blow up.
was
But
a good
I mean, it's
blow-up,
awesome, dude. It's great. But every single, even in the club, shit was blowing up. And then he runs his car into a concrete thing, and the car blows up. Of course, it does.
The car runs on gas.
I have run into concrete stuff
427 freedom units of gas.
my cars have never blown up when I've run into stuff, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
But and then also the scene where they go to Club Hell, I was like, why is the? I mean, I lived in Los Angeles. I've been to clubs. I've been to clubs in Vegas. I've been to clubs in New Orleans. I've never been in a club where the dress code is for women stilettos and leather mini skirts with like basically nothing on top. And for men, it's like the urinal has just standing pee in it and like a fish tank where you look out onto the dance floor. I was like, where the fuck is this club? Why is it so dirty? But then also everyone in there is like dressed like they have rich parents.
Let me tell you, when they let me be in charge of student council, which is in charge of homecoming, and I was like,
Sure.
Okay, who's in charge of getting the DJ? They were like, all right, you can be in charge of that. I was like, all right, how much money I got? They look in the thing, and it's a ton of money. Like, there was a ton of money in there. So I was like, all right, well, cool. I'm thinking, and all I can think of is Club Hell. I'm like, I'm getting bitches in cages. I'm getting smoke. We're going to have a fish tank. It's going to be lasers. It's going to be awesome. I mean, we didn't get any of that, but I wanted all of that, and that's what I was picturing in my head.
Yes. That club was and then also like I've never been to a club where ups on the second level there's like a big glass window and you can see in, and that's where they plan criminal enterprises. But in movies, I'm led to believe there are a lot of clubs like that.
All the clubs are like that because the person who owns the club is the guy making the moves.
Yeah, and they want to like look out through the window and see the girls dancing and like see through the fish tank into the men's room, and then
learn how to work the safety with your bitch ass.
But yeah, dude, I don't have any. And there's a lot of political incorrectness. I guess black people are allowed to make fun of Mexican people. I don't know the rules about that, but I'm not black or Mexican, so I'm not going to weigh in on that.
Right. There was some casual racial slurs thrown around, and the old tech is all over because it's 95. Lots of CRT monitors.
Everyone's terrified of being thought to be gay. Obviously. That has not really changed in 30 years, especially for black folks.
But don't you feel like the cheesy 90ness and the tropes of all of that? I kind of like that. I don't know if it's because I grew up during it, but like even my kid likes it, so I think it's just a cool thing. I don't know.
What, the homophobic or the racism?
No. Just like the whole thing. Like we're saying that like it was more okay in the 90s. Yeah. The whole thing is 90s, and it's filled with tropes from the 90s. I kind of
none of that stuff bothers me, but like I'm a tall, straight white man with a full head of hair, so like I'm not the guy who can say whether stuff is offensive. Like make whatever fun of me you want. Like things are going great.
Yeah.
Like there's a one-armed bellboy in here who wouldn't trade places with me, and I'm rich. So like I don't. But I'm going to point out, like, if you're sensitive to these things and you want to watch it now, you might go, damn, people were saying racist shit to their Mexican coworkers like it was not a thing
all the time. They were Cuban,
which they probably still do, I guess.
It was Miami. They were Cuban.
Oh, that's right, because they kept talking about Lucy and Desi. Well, they were Hispanic.
All I can think of is Carlos Mencia. He's like, don't you understand when I'm here in L.A.? I'm Mexican, but I go to Miami, I'm Cuban.
Dude, I think about Chris Rock going like, he's like, black people don't hate Jewish people. We hate white people. We ain't got time to be dividing y'all up into little...
We don't break y'all into little groups. Oh, man. I love it.
So, yeah, plenty of political incorrectness like you would expect from a 90s movie.
Right.
Not a lot
especially
to do
when
for
they're trying to
women
be
in
funny.
this movie. But Tia Leoni was a badass, dude. She was swinging a baseball bat. She was like correcting him about eating bologna. She was trying to find animal-free shampoo. Like, I liked her.
Trying to shoot people.
Trying to shoot people with a borrowed gun.
Yeah, that's a good call. In a club. No
Yeah,
metal
5
detectors
questions.
in club hell? What's up?
No, dude.
Yeah.
No metal detectors in the 90s.
What?
I mean, they had them, but like we didn't. You didn't have to go through you didn't have to go through one to get on an airplane. You didn't have to go through one to get into a school. Everyone was like, "Yeah,
they have them in our school now." So
yeah, now they have them everywhere.
Yeah, all over.
Now they have them at the DMV and the post office and friggin'.
But not in our dreams, because that's where I draw the line. Oh wait, that's ads.
To get into the swimming pool. Yeah, 5 questions. Is it okay for kids?
It depends on your kid. But I probably wouldn't show Wolf this for a few more years.
No, I'm gonna wait.
I would, dude. Jake's 13, so he's seen it. So I'd say 12 or 13 is probably fine.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if you have
dirty
a mature,
words, don't. Yeah, go ahead.
If you have a mature 13-year-old, is there really much that you're not gonna show him?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's like gratuitous sex and violence, I try to back that off because he can find that on his own. But like, I don't want to sit there and watch somebody have sex with my 13-year-old. But like all the dirty words and the shooting and stuff like that, like he knows it's fake. I know it's fake. We think it's funny. It's great.
Yeah, and it's like, hey man, you can't watch this because they're shooting. Now go in your room and play Fortnite.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Fortnite, but it's a lot different than watching the opening of Saving Ryan's Privates.
I know, there's no blood. You just shoot them and then they disintegrate. So would this movie get made if it were pitched now? Yeah, they made number 4 last year.
Yeah, they just made one. Did you see number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. I see all of them. I thought that there were 5 because it took so long for some of the sequels to appear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
Yeah. 4.
Movie or TV show? I mean, keep on keeping on.
I think you got to do movie. What? Yeah. Like, would you? I think it would still be now that like these Netflix and HBO Max movies are spending so much money. I don't even care if it comes out just on like TV, streaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I would still watch it if it had these characters in it. I love this stuff.
They care. Will Smith cares if his movies come out on streaming.
Yeah,
they
wants them to be huge.
They want theatrical exclusive releases, and so does Michael Bay. But I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Like, there's a couple movies out now that I'd like to watch, but I don't know if I'm going to get to the theater before they leave, and I'll just watch them at my house. That's fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm with you. Same way.
And I didn't try to recast because they're still doing it. Like, Will Smith's 56. Like, they just did this,
I can't believe a 60-year-old Will Smith trying to shoot people. That seems crazy to me. I don't know why. Because I'm just picturing this Will Smith.
Yeah, dude.
Could you recast it or no? Like, I don't know anybody that's
Will Smith was 26 when they made it, and Martin Lawrence was 30. So, like, presumably we'd have some actors in that range, especially if we go, like, let's get TV actors. But I can't think of any offhand.
I can't think of any either.
Because we don't really do a lot of sitcoms anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, same. So can you watch and enjoy it?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's freaking great.
I mean, I rated
if
it 9
this
out
is
of
one
10.
that if you haven't seen it
this
yet,
thing's fantastic.
if you haven't seen it, you gotta get to it and
I like
find it.
86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's,
Golly,
it's
that's pretty
absolutely
good.
delightful. I don't know who would be listening to our podcast. These two dummies talk about movies that hasn't seen Bad Boys.
That hasn't seen this already. Yeah.
I know sometimes I talk to people. It's like, yeah, listen to every episode. I haven't seen a lot of the movies. And I'm like, that's awesome, but I also don't understand why you do that. Thank you. But it looks
same.
like even like the people that I like, buddies of mine, they're 15 years younger than me. Like we talk about movies, like this is one they've seen. Like Tommy Boy, they've seen that. Like,
Right.
so, a lot of them's like that. I know Major Pain. I don't know what that is.
Right.
But, like this is one that everybody's seen. I feel like.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen it.
Not streaming anywhere, but it's
I was
available
gonna
for
say
rent everywhere.
it's hard to see it because it's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, dude, you got to pay for it, which is dumb, but such is life.
That's the way it works. So what's next? Clueless? Is that what we decided?
Next up, Clueless.
Dude, that's
Next
so
up,
great.
a little pivot. Another movie that I absolutely freaking love. Clueless.
Get out of my chair. I can't wait to do this movie. I can't wait to.
It's fantastic. And what do we say we're doing next on Patreon?
I don't remember.
I think we said 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby. That is right. That's right.
Yeah, so Beverly Hills Cop 2 just came out on Patreon. Simpson
Yes.
Bruckheimer production. And 3 Men and a Baby coming up next. You can do a free 7-day trial of Patreon if you're driving somewhere for the summer and you're like, I don't know if I want to give these guys any money. You can just check it out for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Think we got anything
Vaya con
else?
Dios. No.
Bye con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.
Thanks for listening to Movielife Crisis. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and remember, don't drive angry.